Hello, my name is Duncan Green. Welcome to the LSE Quick Guides to Influencing video series. In this video, I want to talk about a fundamental concept in the role of influencing and strategy design, and that is power. The learning objectives of this particular video is to help you see power as the underlying force field of social and political change. I'll explain what this means in the slides. And to understand how power analysis, differentiating between different kinds of power, can help you design better influencing strategies. Now, I know this cultural reference is getting a little dated, but for me, power is the matrix of social change. Just as in the film The Matrix, the hero Neo could see behind reality and see the ones and zeros that were actually constructing the reality that other people were seeing. For me, when activists learn to see power more clearly, they get to see what really matters in terms of deciding the shape of the world we live in and how to change the shape, how to move power around, how to redistribute power. Just to give you a sense of power and how we think about power, look at this photograph. What is the power on display here? We see so many different kinds of power. We see the power of the state, police. We see the power of violence. The police are armed and they have weapons and masks and lots of kit. But we also see the power of religion, a woman holding up the Quran. We see the power of organization. These women have come together to oppose whatever, the thing they're protesting about. We also see the power of the person who's taking the photo. The photographer is behind the police lines, taking the photo of the women and able to share that on social media and create a narrative about what is going on in this particular context. So I think these kind of things suggest that what you need to do is to understand different kinds of power and how they interact to either bring about or oppose the change we seek. So why should activists think about power? Why should they spend time thinking rather than being active and doing? Well, firstly, many change processes involve understanding, confronting, and redistributing power. Some people, as we know, have too little power. Some people have too much. The search for a fairer, juster, more sustainable world often means redistributing power in a progressive direction or preventing its redistribution in a negative, regressive direction. But also, some kinds of power are more visible than others. It's easy to talk about government, the people who have the guns, the people who have the money, but we also know, as activists, that there's power in solidarity, that there's power in leadership, there's power in inspiration, in vision, in the ability to tell a powerful story. So we need to look broadly and deeply at power to understand just how effective and instrumental it can be in bringing about change. So let's look at some different kinds of power. Visible power. As the name suggests, this is the easy one. You can see it, you can feel it. It's the violence, use of violence or the use of laws exercised by states. Or it can be, on the other side, the energy, the voice of trade unions, of protest movements, community organizations, visible people on the streets demanding change. These are the visible kinds of power which we see at election time, for example. But there's also invisible power, which is another term for those social and moral norms which shape how people see the world. What do they think is natural, normal, acceptable? What do they think is abnormal, unnatural, unacceptable? These are crucial issues. I remember growing up, when I was growing up, beating children was acceptable. Sexism was extraordinary. The level of homophobia in society in Britain was appalling. These things have shifted over time. They haven't gone all the way we want them to, but they've changed over time. So these social and moral norms change more slowly than policies and laws, but shifting them is becoming an increasingly important part of what activists do. And then there is hidden power. It may seem like real power lies with the government or with the army or with decision makers, but there is always hidden power. The people behind the scenes, the private, the funders of the campaigns, the people who can get the meetings, the people who are inside the room. Activists need to understand that hidden power They may want to try and become part of that hidden power. At the very least, they need to be able to make it visible and see it so that they can understand what is stopping them getting the changes they seek, or how that can be recruited as part of the coalition of allies to help them bring about change. So to summarize, power analysis is a core skill for influencers. You need to work with others to make that power visible, especially the less obvious forms. And it's worth seeing activism as a way of rebalancing power in the direction of justice. Now, that may mean helping people acquire more power when they have too little, or it may mean taking power away from those who have too much. Both of those are legitimate parts of a wider influencing strategy. I hope this has been helpful.